Thanks everyone for having me today. It's been a long time since I've been involved in the chamber. I was president in 1993, and I think my wife was in 2005 or something like that. But I moved to Perm straight out of college in 1985. I wanted to start a turkey farm. I was on my way to Chicago to trade grain actually for Cargill, and my wife was on her way to grad school, and we decided, you know what? Let's get married and move to Perm, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's been one of the hardest decisions. There's easier ways to make a living, I think, but this is a great place to raise a family and to live. So basically, I went down 4 paths: service, real estate, agriculture, and retail. And I'll go through. Here I am as a county board member for 12 years, and been involved in Rotary and Sportsman's, and I was Cub Master for a little while, different stuff. Plenty of ways to get involved. I'm currently involved in the University of Minnesota, where I'm a regent. I was the alumni chair for 2 years. Here I'm given, first thing I did was turkey farm, and I was the president of the turkey growers, and I got the privilege of giving Jesse Ventura a turkey. It's interesting because that's Becca. I don't know if you guys know Becca. So she's works for the EMS now. She was petting that turkey, and it jumped off that stand to a bank of reporters. And Jesse didn't need to miss a beat. He goes sick to the turkey. So I'll never forget that. So you have to give Becca some crap about that this year. So I went on a few trade missions with Governor Plenty to China and South America and Israel, and trying to boost our turkey position. And here's our Board of Regents. So this is the first farm that we built in 1987, and of course I wasn't going to be a farmer because you can lose a lot of money, and of course I lost a lot of money. So I lost about $30,000 in the first year, but $30,000 was a lot of money. It still is, okay? But so not only do you work free for the year, I lost a bunch of money, so I had to figure out how to make a living. But here's me and my 3 kids in our turkey barn, and here's the barn full. Here's another farm with little baby turkeys, and we sold eggs is what we did, hatching eggs to hatcheries. So, but eventually we got into cattle and honeybees, and we merged our farms with Wayne and Ross Mickelson from Frazee and John Anderson. So, and here's our crew at Mulligan's having a Christmas party. So this was where we started. So like that first year I told you we lost $30,000. So we bought a grill, just a regular grill. I had Joe Peters put it on some wheels, and we started making turkey. We cooked turkeys in front of Dean's Country Market, and on the weekends, tourists would come and buy a turkey, and that's how we basically lived for a year, selling these turkeys. Well, the people would say, do you cater? And I would say, yeah, we cater. So my wife would kick me under the table, what the hell? So then she'd do a wedding, and I'd say, sure, yeah, we could do a wedding. And so then we bought the equipment, and then we built this catering kitchen near the farm, and just kind of showed the 2 sides of our business was turkeys and eggs, and that's our oldest daughter, Abby. So that's the girl I had made, and we did quite a few weddings and different stuff, and then eventually we got going to WeFest, which is everybody knows what WeFest is. We did all the backstage catering and the artist hospitality for 25 years back there. So we had worked with the food shelves to get workers, and we had about 300 volunteers and about 30 or 40 paid people, and we served all the meals during the weekend and served the beer and cleaned up and did all that stuff. Some of you might have helped us there, but actually we're not grilling on that one picture. I think we're burning Nick Doctor's Iowa shorts. Anyways, we all got around. We had some fun too. So there's my family members. You have to count on family, and so our whole family was over there. It was really a family affair. Nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, 11 brothers, mom and dad. So anyway. here we are in Sturgis, South Dakota. That was quite an adventure, to say that. But one of the reasons we went to Sturgis, we sold turkey sandwiches and pork sandwiches out there, but we couldn't make enough turkey. So what we do is we make the turkey back here, we bag it, and then we take it out there. So we could make like 20% of the turkeys that we could sell out in Sturgis out there, and 80% we brought along. And we called that Gobble Up, and now Greg and Missy Kyle own Gobble Up Turkey, you probably had it. So, me and a group of friends, 8 of us, started a company called Perm Capital Company, and we developed West Wind and Grow Perm Apartments and some other stuff. It's been a really good deal for Perm and us. So kind of one of my thoughts is, if Perm doesn't have something you want or you need, don't go to the outside and get it, try to do it internally. And I think that's been Perm's motto from the get-go. And so whether it's a school or a hospital or whatever, you know, we need to have nice things here. And I think that this whole thing is great. The whole city is great. We've got everything going on, but right now, retail is really suffering. And I can see it, and that's what we're into now. It's called Find the Goose. We started Wild Goose back in 1997, and that was the first one. And you guys know what Wild Goose is, but we did toys, coffee, gifts, everything you could imagine, because we didn't know what to expect. It was a brand new business. We'd never been in retail before, so we kind of did it all. And, you know, it was markedly successful. It did good. We did that for about 15 or 20 years. And then we eventually, we bought these lots here, and we did Goose Gang. And that's the before pictures, and then that's the after pictures. So we bought 4 lots in a row, and then we built Edward Joe's building and built Goose Gang. We took the toys out, and then eventually we built Nest. And then we bought one down in New London, Minnesota, and we converted it to Lucky Duck, which is very similar to Goose Gang. Except if you ever go there, it has the International Duck Hall of Fame. So we have, it's weird. We sell a lot of rubber ducks. But people go there to check out the Duck Hall of Fame, and every year we induct a duck into the Hall of Fame. It's kind of stupid, but it works. You know, it's the kind of little stuff that Brooklyn small towns. But then we have Happy Soul, which is kind of a fashion store. For me, that's really important. I'm really big on fashion, so I don't know a thing about what they do there. I pay the bills, and Heather kind of runs the show there. And then recently we bought the Scrapfield, and this has been, you know, it's a tough business. Microbreweries are tough. I didn't buy it for the short run. I bought it for the long run. I think Perm needs it, and my grandfather came here in 1890s as a brewer. He was his brother was the brewmaster out at Path Blue Ribbon, and he learned to brew from him, and then he ran the brewery out of town here. So then, of course, we had Prohibition and a bunch of other stuff. They never got regrouped after the war. So it's kind of in my blood. We have a beer called Wonder Brew that's very close to what my grandfather made. And so, I mean, we're going to stay with it for the long haul. We don't jump in and out of things. I mean, I'm pretty stubborn that way. I mean, I think it's needed in the community. So, and that was actually in my grandfather's brewery. And Chuck Johnson had it, and we put it back together one winter. He did. So, anyway. And our last thing that we bought is Bees Chocolates. And this even surprised me that we bought it, but I guess I made the decision. I love chocolate, obviously, but you know, that's the only thing I know about it. And it's in Wilmer, Minnesota. It's at the Midwest campus, and we make Belgian chocolates and sell them both wholesale and retail, mostly wholesale. So anyway, so there you go. Valentine's coming up. So I got a sign the going is rough ahead, and that's the reason, and we have a lot to talk about this. So first I'm gonna talk about the risks and challenges we have, and then I'll talk about some of the opportunities. What I see as risks are macro, geopolitical, Amazon, millennials, government policy, weather, and insurance. So, like the geopolitical thing, we can't do much about that, It is what it is. I mean, we have to say a serenity prayer every day, whatever happens, whatever gets shut down today, that's going to be shut down, then it's going to be open tomorrow. We don't know. We don't make those decisions. We're not in the room. So our philosophy at Goose Group is just to keep our head down and do our work. And whatever they throw at us, we'll accept it, and that's the way it is. We're going to try to not participate in a recession if we have one. I don't think we're going to have one, but if we do, firm is kind of recession-proof, I believe. And then we're going to try to stay civil and neutral as much as possible. It's hard in this day and age to not take sides and not pick a side, but I think neutrality is really important for towns and small businesses. People can have freedom of speech and free to do whatever they want to do, but as a company or even, I think we should be as neutral as possible so everybody can voice their own opinion individually. So, Amazon and millennial, those are our two biggest problems. So for the millennials in the room, I'm sorry about that. I have 3 millennials. I know what it's like. So the Amazon with the smiley down faces, every year they're taking 5% of the sales away from retail. So figure that out.
5% more each year,
5% of the outstanding sales. So and it's just a massive deal, and we can't. It's really hard. I mean, if you talk to any bank, you ask them what their biggest check that clears, Visa, it's Amazon. Amazon debit cards, Amazon, or debit cards, it's Amazon. I mean, it's a big thing. And now lately, they cracked down this a little bit, but direct from China that avoids Amazon. You saw this tariff that they're putting on these small boxes, the de minimis rule. You could bring in $800 straight from China every day, every person could. Well, every single day, 5 million packages are coming into the United States directly from China. You order on your couch on Sunday night from fast fashion, whatever. They make it on Monday, put it on a plane, it's here on Wednesday, get it to the UPS center, and all we made is shipping on it as a country. And so we're shutting down tons of small towns because of this. I mean, 5 million packages every single day is coming in just on that. That's not Amazon, okay? That's just straight from China. That's avoiding Amazon. So, I mean, we have to decide as a community what we want. As for retail, what we want for restaurants, we need to start supporting it. Because, frankly, I'm digressing a little bit, but there's a building in downtown Minneapolis that sold this week for $6.6 million. It's sold in 2016 for $200 million. That's a 97% reduction. And so, if these stores on Main Street are closed, what does that do to our property taxes? Where does that shift? And everybody wants to pile on businesses, small businesses, for permitting and everything else. And it's really a danger. It's really a danger for permanent. There's other smaller towns than us that have completely shut down, and we have to be aware of that. So, this is not a dig on the city of Perm. I want you to know that, okay? But I want to show you the difference in my property taxes. The one on the left is the city of Perm. The one on the right is my lake lot, or my lake house on Little Pine. We're a Big Pine. We're both 4 miles from Perm. I'm in the city limits in my house. But last year they were within $100 of each other in valuation, and it was $2,200. This year it's a $2,700 difference more to live in my homesteaded house in Perm than it would be to live on my cabin. The townships are shifting taxes to the city because we have to do roads, we have to do libraries, we have to do the stuff we do. And now with this whole this thing, they're totally shifting the taxes, and they're not paying their fair share. When I was growing up, you'd say, "Wow, lakes cost a lot to live on because cities were cheaper." And the taxes were always higher on the lake, and because lakes were worth more, and it was just a benefit to have ambulances come out there and fire trucks come out there, whatever else. And now, it's a totally different upside down equation. And Jonathan, this is nothing on you in the city, and if there are council members in here, it's just the way the shift has happened. And we have to really watch that. Because, I mean, if nobody can afford to live in Perm, you know, we're gonna be shutting down. And like in our 7 businesses I put up there, we pay about $100,000 in property taxes every year. So that's quite a bit of change, you know? So there's also physical risk with weather, and there's supply chain disruptions. There's compliance risk and market consumer demand risk. I mean, the first one is pretty obvious. Fire in California, you know, what does that do to the ports? Does it shut down retail up here? No matter where we have a weather risk now, we all pay, okay? And so our insurance costs have gone through the roof, and I'm sure yours have too, but we have to be watching that. And then what are regulators going to make us do for buildings going forward? We had to put sprinkler systems in at Nest, which is really ridiculous. Because, I mean, if you, 9 out of 10 times when a sprinkler system goes off, there's not a fire, there's smoke, and you just wrecked all your inventory. So it's like, you know, nobody's ever, I don't know if anybody's ever been killed in a store like Nest due to a fire. So, I mean, we have to have sprinkler systems, which added about $20,000 to the cost and $1,000 a year to ongoing expenses. So it's things like that that we have to really avoid. And the market and consumer demand shifts that, you know, like plastics now. You know, are we going to be shifting from plastics to glass? Are we shifting more environmentally or less environmentally? And we can't continue to move back and forth. Every time the consumers shift, it's really expensive. So when they make a regulation and say you can't use this, you can't use that. Like we had some, the PFAS law that just passed. We had a bunch of cookware that had to go back to the company and create a huge uproar. We had to send all pallets full of cookware back at Wild Goose because of the PFAS law. You know, and it's really expensive with no warning, so. But I'm gonna say there's opportunities, okay? I don't know how that got in there.
Oh, that would have been your last slide.
Oh, well, that's somebody else, okay.
That's your last slide.
You know, I think there are opportunities. We really have to work together. We have to cooperate. I think it's really important that we send the message out that, okay, if we're going to be destination retail, if we want to be destination retail and get people here like Door County or like other places, we're going to have to be quaint. We're going to have to create the community that people want to come to. We're going to have to be open. You know, people say, well, geez, you guys are so greedy, you're always open. We're not open because we're greedy, okay? We're open because that's what the consumer demands. You know, we're not in charge, the consumer is. We are not making the rules. The customer, like that millennial, they can lay on their couch at 4 in the morning and order something that's there tomorrow at 2. At least we could probably get it to them at 9 if we're open the next day. We get it to them 4 hours earlier, but it's really important. You know, we have to know, as a community, we have to decide. Some communities are really doing this well. Detroit Lakes is, I think, it's, you know, it did the trolls. I think last year we really hurt ourselves more than anything with the trolls. Good for them. They won, okay? They got this beautiful trolls, and everybody went over there. I asked my own family members, did you go look at the trolls? Yeah. Did you spend money? Yeah. We went to the bar, we had a restaurant, we went to, and they all spent a couple $100, $300 every time they go over there. And this is just my family members, okay? So I know all of you have family members that went to see trolls. You probably went to see the trolls. Great. They did it, we did it, they deserve it, okay? But we have to be that, we have to do that type of thing if we're gonna get people to come to Perm. And it's just, you start losing businesses like the Ford dealership and the Chevy dealership and this and that, and eventually it's death by 1,000 cuts. And it's gonna, you know, if we don't have retail in this community, it's gonna be harder for the hospital and for the businesses to get workers. And so I think this is a true risk. So as a community, we're gonna have to invest. We're gonna have to invest in art, in quaintness, in sending the message that we're a destination community, and we have to live up to that. I mean, we're gonna have to, you know, somebody's got a garbage heap, we need to clean it up. Because that's our only, you know, I think the only way we're gonna survive as a retail community is through destination retail, and the only way we do that is by creating the next Door County, the next really cool spot. So we need more retail, not less. And I'm willing to mentor anyone. I'm 62, going on 63, so I'm not going to be doing this for very much longer. And you know, I want our businesses to keep growing. I'm the caretaker. I'm not the CEO. I'm just the caretaker of them, hopefully, and we get new young people involved in them, and that's my goal. So, anyways, thanks for having me. And you know, I was giving a speech like this one time, and this lady comes up to me after. She goes, "Aren't you a know-it-all SOB?" And I was like, "Come on, Mom." So anyways, I know but you know, I'm old, I say it like it is, I don't try to beat around the bush, I'm getting too old to be politically correct and be nice, and, you know. So, anyways, but I'm open for questions for a couple minutes, I think, if anyone has anything, so. And if they don't, that's great, too. Yeah.
I have a question, but when you talk about cooperation, one of the things as a non-real estate dealer, I'm always impressed, and I don't see this in other communities. If you don't have something, you tell me the 2 stores that way, or I'm always impressed how not competing stores cross-sell a lot.
I agree. And then we also need to figure out what we don't have. Okay?
Yes.
Like, then we need a bike shop, we need skateboards, we need, you know, we need that stuff. We need to attract that. We have a nice, beautiful bike trail. We should be doing a winter marathon on that thing, a January marathon, first one in the country in cold weather. You know, and we have fill the town up. We need to do events on the shoulder months because that's when we can handle it. I just want to make a comment about events too. I didn't say this. I'm not, you guys are probably killing me for this, but I'm not really huge on events for a few reasons. Because, like I tell our people, if you do an event and you announce it this Saturday, that next Saturday we're going to do events, the first 5 days of the week are nothing, and then on Saturday we can't handle the traffic. So we create our own nightmare on Saturday by overstuffing the stores. We can't, you know, we have 2 people working every day, and then all of a sudden we need 10 on the weekend, but we don't have anybody to do it. So we get bad customer service, you know. And a lot of the events we're doing in Perm are during our busiest times when we need all of our staff at our stores, so we don't participate in them. It's not because we don't want it, it's just because our people in the summer during these events are just dog tired, you know. They can hardly get the stuff done at the store because we're so busy in the store. So if we're doing events, like what I notice is that if we do an event and everybody shares it, or somebody else is doing an event, we all share it, make their event successful. Like Gene Sports Shop brings in the 2 deer during the week, right before deer hunting. The big bucks, you know, guys see those? Awesome. That drags thousands of people to Perth. And it's one of our busiest days at Goose Gang in the summer because everybody comes to see those deer. So that's their event that they're bringing, where they're bringing 1,000 people in. We need to think of more ways individual businesses can bring people in. And then we need to all use our likes and our Facebook, whatever, to help each other out. The problem with social media is under 35 aren't using it. Not the stuff I'm on, at least. I don't know what they're on now. It's TikTok, or as soon as I get on TikTok, they'll be on something else. So I don't know what, you know. But so I mean, it's like we know that half of our advertising that we pay for doesn't work, but we don't know which half. You know, and so I mean, so we spend too much on certain things, and it's just very difficult. But what we can do that's free and cheap is share each other and glorify each other and make each other stronger. So when somebody's doing an event, you know, or get it into our newsletter, we'll put it in our newsletter, we'll share it on our website or whatever, and it's, you know, we have about 10,000 likes per store. So I think we need to do more of that. So thanks for the question, Chuck. Long answer. So.
And Doug, I'd just like to say, you know, Moose Group, as well as most of the retail stores in town and businesses, the support that you give to other businesses. You know, whenever there's something going on that, you know, we need a donation or something,
does it, and when one of us go down, it's our job to bring that person up. We're a small town and we can do that, so nobody should be down, you know what I mean? If somebody's having their worst time, it's time for all of us to pick that person up, so. Anything else? Thanks for everything.
All right, next up is the History Museum. You ladies want to come up?
That was heavy. We're not quite that heavy. I'm Mary Pepper, and this is Sue Delaney, and we're from the East Arundel County History Museum. Do you all know where we are by any chance? We're across in a beautiful stone church building over there. We're a hidden gem in this town. Underrated, I think. Very best. Anyway, we want to thank you for asking us to come. Our mission statement over there is to preserve the past for future generations. So, which is, we try our best to do that. We have been, we're manned by all volunteers. We have 7 that were, in the last 12 years, run by basically seven of us, to keep the doors open. Now we have 10, although we lost 2 of our people this year, 2 of our older ladies. So down to 10. 4 of them come and only work on special things that we've got going on in our world, our daily business. There's 4 of us, I think, that go to daily. So we've been having some trouble with keeping the door open on every day of the week. We're open from Tuesday to Friday, Friday, 10 to 4, and winter hours from 11 to 3. Saturdays we're open from 9 to 1. We always say call ahead to make sure someone is there. Anyway, we've got,
we actually do a lot of research for requests for history of businesses, which you can all relate to that. In addition to that, we do get requests for history from families from the area, although we can research families for wherever because we have Ancestry.com available to all our patrons. So
free of charge, walk in, sit down there. Also get free help for anybody that's there. We're all pretty good about knowing how to do that. We have lately had a lot of requests about resorts and the history of resorts, which we have very little about. We're gathering more as time goes on. We've done that too through the years. We've gathered a lot of information from the people that come in researching. And so we get a lot of emails and phone call requests now more than we used to, I think. Technology has gotten, we get a lot of emails and texts that we answer. Within our building, though, our actual museum, right now it says we're renovating. We are not renovating. We're just redoing some of our displays and putting a more modern look on some of our things. It's going to be an ongoing process for a while. Doing a lot of deep cleaning, and we're still searching for all where things are in our world because we've kind of left with that, not knowing a lot of that. So we're still going to shelving and doing our numbering of our artifacts and our photos and trying to put names on things and things like that. So there's always work to do there.
right. On my end of things, I'm more into the technology end of it. So we've been digitizing records, and we had a nice grant to purchase a microfilm machine that will actually do text turning the images on the microfilm to text so you can search them. And so far we have scanned and 100 years worth of permanent papers. So that's, and we still have about 20 years to go.
We also, back in the early days, and we still are, one of the very few places in the United States that has an index of all of our papers from 1882 on up. We also now house all those papers. Paper office gave us all the papers, term papers, and we have them housed at the ITEL. Not in the best common place, but we have space for them now. We did not have them. We also have them all on microfilm, and all the New York Mills papers on microfilm, and all their finished papers on microfilm. And, yeah, so we have a lot of resources for research in our building, and we get a lot of people in research in our building, from all over the world, actually. We've had people in all over the world too, so.
Especially in the summertime. As you know, your businesses are all busy in the summertime, and we tend to be busier too. So,
And we also are considered a tourist information spot, so we do say, when they say, where's a good place to eat? We send them all uptown to whichever restaurant they would like to go to. Or where's their motel, or whatever. What's that smell? We're centered in a great place for, depending on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Lickers.
This summer, we also, as we have other summers, we usually have a summer speaker series. So,
A series of 3. Usually we haven't set that up yet. We will be having genealogy is a big part of our world. Sue and I will be doing another workshop, which we do at least once a year, maybe a couple times a year. We do get people that enjoy that. So we're always busy. So any questions?
If someone was really into genealogy and history, how could they become a volunteer? How would they do that?
Give us a call.
basically, give us
Do
a
you-
call.
any
We'll
phone?
meet you at the door. Or maybe out front even.
Yeah, basically, it just takes a willingness to learn, the procedures at the museum, which aren't, very complicated, but,
One thing about being a volunteer, you can do what you want to. I mean, we're all volunteers, so some of us choose to do more things than others. And if you want to just come sit at the desk and read a book, that's fine too, as long as, someone's there who knows care what you do.
yeah, our main need is, the main job of the volunteer is to have the museum staff, so when your visitors, there's someone there to greet them and answer questions. All
And
the
give us,
cool
like,
projects we do are kind of all the background stuff, kind of to enable us to put out new exhibits and have information available for researchers. So, and when you come in, we kind of figure out what is your interest, and there's going to be a project for you, because there's many.
There's a lot of them. Anyway, and yes, we do need volunteers, but our oldest volunteer right now is 86. We just had an 88-year-old retire, and our 87-year-old lady passed away. So we are looking for.
And a volunteer shift is generally 4 to 6 hours, depending on the season. And,
We come and go.
yeah, and we've shared shifts. Let's say you only want to do 2 or 3 hours a day, we can work with that too. So,
One thing about the group we've had, they've all went kind of to their own abilities and their own interests, so we've had a good variety of people. Good core of people. Sue and I started out as genealogy, that's what we started.
that was our intention. In fact, when the museum was going to open, director. And I said, are you going to have a genealogy section? And she said, would you like to do that? So that's how that kind of started.
Then she called me.
Then I called her.
Then they said, we don't know anything about genealogy, we need someone in here.
Yeah.
So I was there on Thursday for a few hours and Sue went to work.
Yeah, I ended up going to work, but now I'm retired, so I'm back. So, anyway, it's been
good
good.
as she is.
Yeah. So, and
And
we've been
we
using
were-
it since 1998.
We opened in June of 1998. So we've been there since.
Well, I do know it's nice to see that building didn't leave once the library got built.
Right.
We really don't know how that came about, actually. We came in after the fact with the genealogy business.
Yeah.
We don't know how it actually got started.
Right.
The old historical society, I think, was involved in that. Yeah. And we are not the historical society. We've never had that, technically. They call us that. We consider Fergus Falls a historical society.
Right.
For the town. In fact, people still ask me if I work at the library.
Yeah, that was the one.
Well, and that's etched in stone on the building, so,
Yeah.
you know, we get a few people stopping in, oh, I thought this was the library. Well, as long as you're here, look around,
It was the library when I was a kid.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies.
People love our building too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's still there. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, we have David with Lakes Community Co-op up here.
Sure, not that I have a lot of slides. Good morning, I'm Dave Blumson, I'm the manager at Lakes Community Co-op here based in Perham. I was invited here to speak. If you haven't heard, we are doing a fairly large expansion to our meat locker here in Perham. So this project started about 2 years ago. These don't happen overnight. There's a lot of work that goes into these. So this process started, we had more demand than what we had for our processing for local animals. Our producers, we have a number of hog producers that wanted us to be able to slaughter more animals and process beef. You know, we do some odd animals as well, like yaks and different things. It's what goes through there. But we're currently booked out for the next 12 months. Now, we have some occasional openings, but we're always pretty much booked out 12 months in advance. Obviously, people know what they're raising, what they're doing, so they book and schedule ahead. But due to this demand, this was really a turnaround kind of during COVID and shortly thereafter. This business really changed. So the locker manager was like, what can we do? We looked at this process. Our retail has been really growing. So we started this process by applying for a USDA grant. Now, this was my first foray into doing a grant. These are not fun and easy. It is a large process. So that's where we started, and we were notified this October that we were approved for a USDA grant. Once we were approved for that, we kind of finalized our plan. We're going to do an addition of 40 by 130 feet addition to the side that will almost double the size of the current building. With that, we're going to add 30 by 40 feet of retail on the front of it, so our retail space will be bigger. 2 more tills in there. Like you talked about earlier, on the busy days it gets really busy in there. So we're expanding so we can handle that better on the busy days. So retail is something that's really been growing as well, especially after COVID. Everybody wants to know, where did my meat, where did this food come from? So it's been a really driving force. And a big chunk of the space will also be processing freezers. We're doubling the size of our freezers and cooler space. And we're also doing an additional barn on the back that will also be covered and more enclosed. Now, not in my time frame, but I have been told there's been times we have had an animal roll through town that got away. So one, we're going to prevent that, and the system will be set up that there will never be an employee in a gate, inside a gate with an animal. So there's some safety things as well. And through this process over the next 2-3 years, our plan is to add 8 to 10 additional jobs in the community as well. retail. And then one of our other greater demands is, we did a merger with Community Co-op here just over 2 years ago. We currently have 17 retail locations. Of those, we only have 6 of them that carry our retail product today. We just don't have the freezer space and the capacity to handle that. Through this process, we're going to expand that into our other retail locations. So whether you live in Ottertail, Lake Park, Monoman, any of our locations, we're actually going to run a route truck to serve those locations with our product from here as well. So that's the other part of the expansion. So, and I mentioned the USDA grant. We also got a grant from the Minnesota Department of Ag. But also one of the other reasons I'm here is to thank the city of Pearl, because we also received a grant through the city. We talked about the strong retail presence here, doing things to continue to support the growth in the community. That was greatly appreciated. And the city of Pearl grant is far easier to work with than the USDA or Minnesota Department of Ag, just so you know. And then again, we just really appreciate, like I say, the support, the growth we've been having. We hope this continues to add to the community. It's got great community support, as well as a lot of our other businesses. But so yeah, and this is what it's going to look like. You can see where the red fascia is now. That's the current building. Everything to the right is going to be the addition, all the way back with the freezer standing up. Hammers Construction is going to be doing the construction. Our plan is to break ground right around mid-May, depends on when winter ends and the frost goes out, with to be finally completed by the end of the year. Through this process, it's going to take a little longer, but we will process every week through this construction. Our plan is to not close any retail or any other. There might be a week disruption somewhere, but our plan is to stay fully operational through construction. So yeah, big project. I hope, like I say, I think it'll be a nice addition to the demand that there is here in Perham. Say we're a co-op, and that's what we're here for, is to serve the communities. We try to do community support wherever we're at. We're working through audit stuff right now, and I was looking back at, we serve a number of communities, but we donated over $100,000 back into the communities on behalf of our patrons this last year. So we're about community support. So. Any questions?
I have 2.
Sure, fire away.
So all the meat that you have in your locker plant, is that all locally sourced?
No.
No.
There's not. We couldn't do enough animals in a week. Now we source halves from local, but we do outsource some of it, just because we can't process enough. Now, through this, we'll be able to do more of it local, because we do have a couple producers that we buy pretty consistently from.
And then my second question or comment, I read recently that Central Lakes Colleges and Staples are starting a program for meat processing, where you can go get, so does your organization have any involvement in that? Or?
We do not. I was not aware of it. I will be reaching out to them because, like I say, there's not a line of people coming into that profession.
Yeah,
We've been fortunate. We've drawn a couple of employees in the last 6 months that moved here to the area. One was a meat cutter at Hornbacher's up in Moorhead and some different things. So anytime they come to town, we try and hire them as we can. But we will have, like I say, demand for some new employees. So
I just thought it was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's become greater demand. If anybody, like I say, chooses to participate, I'm sure they'll be hired out of that program before they're done with school. We'll be standing in line trying to get them. So. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Miss Jillian, Miss Northern Lakes Teen, who wants to come speak today. Thank you. You're welcome. Oops. Oh man. I just clicked. I'm not sure. We'll figure. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jillian Bain and I'm super excited to be here today to talk about the Miss America opportunity. So first I'm going to introduce myself and just a little bit of what I'm involved with here in Perham. I'm a junior at Perham High School and I'm on the student council. I'm a student council leader in student council this year. I'm involved with Business Professionals of America, and I compete in advanced interview skills and news broadcast production team. A couple weeks ago, we had regionals, and I was elected as the Region 6 Executive Vice President for the second year in a row. And then I also run cross country on the Perham cross country team, and I dance at Northern Lakes Dance Academy. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of background of how long I've been involved with the organization. I've been involved with the organization for 4 years, and I've held the title for 3 of those years. I competed at Miss Moorhead's team for 2 years, and I didn't win the first year, but I came back and I competed for that second year and walked away with the title. So here's a picture of me as Miss Moorhead's team 2023, like a half an hour after I was crowned. It was a really fun year. I went to state and I won a $350 SCA scholarship, which was a huge honor. Last year I was Miss Perham's team, so I got to represent my hometown of Perham, Minnesota, which was a lot of fun. And then this year, I'm Miss Northern Lakes Team 2025. I was crowned in September, and I mostly represent the Bemidji community, but I've done appearances here in Perham as well. The Northern Lakes organization was established in 2012. So there are 5 key aspects to the Miss America opportunity, and that is service, scholarship, style, success, and sisterhood. So with service, each title holder has a community service initiative that we promote throughout our years of service. But I'll talk more about mine in the next slide. Otherwise, I just do volunteer events, and my director will send me like a list of events that she got from the community. And so I'll just tell her what ones I can make it to. Otherwise, I've gone into elementary school here in Perham, and I've presented to make cards for the nursing home during Christmas, and then tie blankets as well. I've done over 150 hours of community service work through my 3 years of being a title holder. And being a high school student, it's only required to do 16 hours, so I've well surpassed that through this organization. And I've done over 25 appearances as Miss Northern Lakes Team since September, and the average is to about an appearance a week. The next one is scholarship, and that's really what sets apart the Miss America opportunity from other organizations and pageants, is that the Miss America opportunity is the #1 provider of scholarships to young women across the United States. And every year at state, they give out thousands of dollars of scholarships to girls. Style is just to make sure that girls know how to present themselves as young ladies, and the team program goes from 13 years old to 18 years old, and the Miss goes from 19 to 28. So there's a wide variety of age ranges. Then they all come into success. The Miss America opportunity gives girls many opportunities for success in interview skills and onstage presence. And then the basis of it is sisterhood. After being involved with this organization for 4 years now, I've got to know a lot of these girls, and they're the nicest girls I've ever met, and so we're all just so supportive of each other. So my community service initiative is BioGirls Raising Self-Esteem Through Physical Activity. BioGirls is a nonprofit organization that is based out of Fargo, North Dakota, and they are currently serving over 2,700 participants. I've been a mentor for 2 years now, and last year I was in the Perham community, and now this year I'm going to the Muir Mills location. Each session, it's a 12-week session, and each session there's a small group activity, a large group activity, and then physical activity. So it was running last year, and so we all trained for a 5K that we did in May. Each session also just focuses on different aspects of how your self-esteem might be affected. I'm going to highlight now my experience at state last year. So I went down to compete for Miss Minnesota's team 2024 as Miss Perham's team. And here's the class of 2024. There are 13 of us competing for the state title. And I was fortunate enough to be in the top 6 as a top 6 finalist to go on to compete for Miss Minnesota's team. They choose those by taking the highest scores from the 2 nights of preliminaries, and then those top 6 go on to compete at finals night. Here are the different categories of competition. So there's talent, evening gown, fitness, onstage question, and interview. Interview counts for 30% of the score, onstage question is 10%, and then the rest of the categories are worth 20%. On the top left corner, that's Miss Minnesota's team 2024. She's in the gold dress. She was crowned, and I got the privilege of standing next to her as she was being crowned, and I gave her the biggest hug because I've known her for so many years in this organization. So now looking ahead to this year, part of competing for state is selling ad pages to fundraise those scholarship dollars for the young women competing for Miss Minnesota's team. So if any of you guys would be willing to buy an ad page to promote your business, those would go into the program books, and there's an example of the program books at the bottom left. Those are handed out to everyone who goes to Miss Minnesota's teen, and it's a great way because people from all over the state of Minnesota come to support us as we compete. And so it's a great way to get your business out there, and also I promote you on my social media by highlighting you as one of my supporters as well. These are the dimensions for the full page ad, which is 300, and then the half page ad is 150. Some businesses in the past have also added a sponsorship on top of that to support me individually by covering travel fees or extra competition fees. There's a QR code there if you would like to fill out a Google form with your name, your business, your email, and then you can click on one of those 4 options. Otherwise, there's another option on that Google form where you can put in your own scholarship or sponsorship amount. Let's say you wanted to buy the full page ad, but you didn't want to do $350 as an additional sponsorship, and you want to do $50 even, then you could put that in there too. So thank you for letting me come present to you today, and I have, there's my contact information if you want to reach out to me at all, or my director's contact information as well.
All right, Creative, we have a couple new members this month. Creative Friends, I don't know if I saw her come in this morning. Might be the weather. She is over where PSI Love You is, so she's taken over that building right there, and she has a whole bunch of different vendors that come in, and she's kind of rearranging the store. So we'll have a grand opening, ribbon cutting later once she gets her sign up and gets everything organized. But we want to welcome her, and then today we do have Lakeshore Services. You guys want to say hello to everyone? Yeah.
First meeting, so exciting. Jared and Randy Halverson, Lakeshore Services. We just moved from Fergus Falls, so we just built about 10 miles outside of town, so we're learning all things around. But we have served Otter Tail County and Southern Bedford County with our business for several years, so been around over 40 years. Obviously, we didn't know it back then. I know that'd be some good Botox, right? But we mostly do hardscape, so though we live here, our shop is out by Otter Tail Lake. Something new this year, we are offering landscape lighting and irrigation. So we just hired somebody from the Nevada Lake area, and she will be heading up our irrigation and landscape lighting. So super excited to have another female on board. I'm usually the only female. So little bit of what we do: steps, retaining walls, lots of paver patios. We like to say rocks or blocks. That's kind of that tall. So that's actually at our new house by the lake. So super excited to be living on a lake. We used to live right in town. I looked at a parking lot every day, and so this is wonderful to wake up and look at the lake every day. Retaining walls, again, we can kind of do whatever you're looking for hardscape-wise. And then this is our bread and butter. We do a lot of shoreline riprap, erosion control, things like that. If you want riprap done right, we're the company to go with. There's a lot of people that claim to do riprap out there. There's a lot more to it than you actually think. So if you want riprap done right, we're going to take care of that. I think that was all. Yeah. So thank you. We're excited to be part of the Durham community. We've just been checking things out. I will tell you through. It's fantastic. We do our meat all the time at the meat locker. I will tell you, I've had deer from many, many lockers I grew up in North Dakota. By far the best we've ever had. We won't go anywhere else. And just got our have meat from Cornerstone Farms. They were just there. So yeah, we're like, please go to Durham. So yes, but we're enjoying getting to know everybody. So appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is the Lakes Area Home and Cabin Show. It's going to be here March 8th. It's going to be free admission at the PAC. They kind of take over the whole thing. So for the kids, there's going to be free face painting from 11 to 3 by the Painted Turtle. Open swim as well, so maybe swim before you get your child's face painted. And then Adventureland, of course. Hilltop Lumber will have that free activity, and then the door prizes every 30 minutes. So we do still have.
We've got 2 10x10 spots in the front gym, and then everybody who signs up after that will be in the back. Yeah. So if you want gym spot, sign up.
There's only 2 left, but it's gonna be a full show. We're really excited. We had, 3,500 last year, roughly. So hoping for that good weather to bring people out, and then they can bring their families too. We'll have the bounce house up in the back. Rotary will be there with the Taste of Perm, all the different things that are offered here in Perm. Pancake breakfast in the morning. Lions will be doing lunch. It's a whole day affair. At 8 to 7:33, I suppose. So, yeah, neat event. We're really excited to host that and showcase everyone in the Perm area. So, if you don't have a table yet, just reach out to Leah or I in the office, and we'll go from there. So, any questions about Home and Cabin? Okay, and then I think, here we go. So we got a bunch of the PEC events still coming up. The Valentine's is going on. They're putting their names in the bags, and then we'll do some drawings for restaurant and hotel is the grand prize, the grand stay. Spring, let's see, March coming up, we're gonna do the bar hop again. We've extended the days for you to go from bar to bar, so you can take your time. So that's good. And then in April, we'll do the Golden Egg Scavenger Hunt. So just look for those events. Those are just to get people out and about in Perm, trying new things, trying new places, win some prizes. So thanks to all of our donations from there. We're really excited to just get people out and about and do something fun while the weather is freezing. So, City of Perm updates? Got anything?
Just as I like to talk and keep you guys here all morning. Real quick, Main Street. As you noticed, all the lights are working. Almost. There's a couple that are out. So First Ave South obviously was a little bit of a problem, but we got it going. The next problem or next issue, the actual stoplights, right? So you'll notice that you may wait a little longer going one direction than the other. We're working on that, so just bear with us. That'll be a spring thing. The other piece of this, which is maybe a little more exciting or maybe a little bit more involved, we actually are hiring a consultant to help design NP Park. So we kind of tried to do this internally last year, and we got quite a bit of feedback, and it wasn't really going well. So we really want to concentrate and work on a downtown concept for a park area. So obviously the biggest thing, number one priority, is to add public bathrooms. So we'll add public bathrooms to NP Park. But the rest of it is really figuring out what we want to do with that space, what kind of features we want. Do we want to leave it open? Is the farmer's market going to go back there sometime? All of those kind of concepts. So we're going to bring in a consultant to help us with that. So our park board will be working on that. We'll probably do some community outreach when we kind of narrow down some of those design factors. So watch out for that here coming this spring. Otherwise, that's about all I got. Any questions from the city? Yes?
No, tied into the city, but not really. Sunday I just groomed between 3 to 4 miles if you want your exercise for cross-country skiing. You can go out to the Pioneer Grounds, and what I'm telling people is if you go park across from the sledding hill, we've got an entrance through the trees, and you get into the Pioneer Grounds, and then the trail will start to go back into the Pioneer Grounds, and there's right now we have 4 or 5 different loops. When we get more snow, I'm going to go out and I'm going to add more trails. And so tell your friends, it's cold right now. I mean, I was out on Sunday and there were 4 different couples already skiing, which is good. The problem Shane and I have is that we'll go groom the trails, the wind will come, they'll come into True North the next day and go, are the trails groomed? And there's only 2 of us right now. So, I mean, this is something that we're doing on our own. Eventually, we hope that we'll get the city involved. But if you're looking for something to do, and then the other thing that I'll say that we are working on, which will bring 1,500 to 3,000 people in, we probably are, if we get more snow, we're going to do the snowmobile races. I don't know if Shane mentioned that a couple weeks ago. So yeah, so that'll bring people in at the beginning of March. So that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you need to rent stuff, I got skis.
Yeah, real quick, thanks to True North for all the work that they do there. When we have snow, those ski trails are a great asset. Kind of going back to Doug and kind of the theme for today, that community, that collaboration, those efforts really make Perm what we are. Thank you all for all you do and that work together. And I pretty sure Ed is gonna talk about Giving Hearts Day, which is another great opportunity. Maybe not this week. I thought maybe you mentioned it, Ed, so I'm not gonna steal your thunder, but it is Giving Hearts Day this week, Thursday. So just, yeah, another great opportunity to give back and show that community support. So thank you.
All right, anyone want an update? Edda?
We have had so much support within the community and individuals, businesses, organizations, so thank you if you are somebody who has supported us in any way.
What organization are you in?
Boys and Girls Club, and then we are partnering with Empowering Kids, so they're our neighbors next door in the Hub building. And then events on Thursday, so visit us at the Nest, we're there from 6 to 9, set up right inside the door. You can donate, you can spin our prize wheel, and then get a little token for a caffeine or smoothie or whatever you'd like from there. Thank you to Goose Group for allowing us to be there again. And then during our lunchtime, 11 to 1, we'll be at Boys and Girls Club. You can enter through Empowering Kids or the club, and you'll encounter a nice potato lunch. So you can take to go, you can call ahead, or you can sit in-house and have a nice hot lunch. Baked potatoes, chili, all the toppings, cookies, lemonade, water. So
Made by Stankies.
made and prepared by Sammy.
So it's probably going to be really
yes.
delicious.
Otherwise, you can give any time. If you have anybody who want to spread the word, share a post on Facebook, we appreciate any support. Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else? Updates? Yeah.
I am Brenda, and I'm with the Scout, so I'm the district executive for the area. So an update on February 8th was our 115th birthday, and we rebranded. So we are known as Scouting America now. And that rebranding, so a lot of people ask why. So there's an example of a company in Glenwood that I use when I explain this. So when they were formed, they were called American Business Forms. They do promotional things, they'll put a logo on anything now. They're not about business forms, and they rebranded to American Solutions for Business. We are not just about boys, we are about girls and inviting anybody to participate in our programs. We have programs for anybody through kindergarten up until the time they turn 21. So just wanted to do that little update.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? Good. All right. So we got some prizes to do. Thank you again for these donations. Lakeside Tap, $25. Mary Pepper. All right, the next one is Perm Pizza Ranch. This is for 2 bake-at-home pizzas. And Sue Delaney. There you go. All right, next one is Zorba's. This is for 1 large pizza from Zorba's. Nick Murdoch. Purim Auto Repair. It's a free basic oil change. They're on Fort Thunder Road. Amanda Miller. And our last one, again from Lakeside Tap, $25 gift certificate, Brenda Thompson. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good day. Looks like Nick owes us lunch.
First kids get to eat this week.
Yeah.
Feed the children.
Feed the children.
Zorba.
Still good.
Well, yeah.